大家好吗？大家好吗？非常好。So good Carlos. 我是西班牙人，我是 GraphQL HK 的机子 and that's it. And I cannot say anything more. So sorry about that, guys. I try better next year. So yeah, the agenda for today, we are gonna see how what is GraphQL and how and why we should use GraphQL, as well as we are gonna do 30 minutes live coding, implementing a GraphQL server in JavaScript and evolving to TypeScript, and same with a GraphQL client in React, of course, using hooks. But before that, because we just have an incredible launch, we are gonna get in the mood in order to learn GraphQL with some dev jokes. So I really want to give a shout out to Shruti Kapoor, software engineer for PayPal, to create this amazing repo. So check it out. I'm going to give the slides later so you can just check it out. So I have 3 questions for you guys. So first is, how did you comfort a JavaScript bug? Anyone knows it? If you're working in the front end and if you are not using TypeScript, probably you are doing this a lot of time. So if you know it, I have an answer. Basically, you console it. Also, what is the programmer's favorite hangout place? Is the meeting room? Is the conference room? Probably it's not. And I'm pretty sure that after this conference, we are going to go there. So it's the full bar. And the last joke, because I have a lot of stuff, a lot of content to show you guys today. What is the developer says to the repository? And I'm pretty sure that you guys have said this stuff to your friends, hopefully not to your coworkers. But if anyone knows it, I can tell you that we say to the repository, fork you. So okay, now let's get started. So we're gonna do an intro to GraphQL. So what is GraphQL? And this is super important. So GraphQL is not a library. It is not a fancy framework. It is a specification. It is indeed a language agnostic specification to build APIs. So it's important for those folks that they don't know what is GraphQL yet. Important GraphQL specification to build APIs. And as you can see here, you can build GraphQL APIs with C, Clojure, Elixir, JavaScript, PHP, Python, Scala. Even if tomorrow you wanna create a new programming language, you can implement a solution for GraphQL with that programming language. Again, GraphQL is not a library, it's not a framework, it's a graph query language specification where you are able to describe the data based on your GraphQL schema, fully typed, ask for what you want, avoiding overfetching data in your clients, and get predictable results. The main features of GraphQL are: it is strongly typed, based on a GraphQL schema, it is introspectable, it is based in queries to fetch data, mutation to modify data, and subscription to subscribe to data. It is transport agnostic, it is efficient and reusable, avoiding overfetching and underfetching, and it provides a fast product development. Regarding the history of GraphQL, in February 12, Facebook realized that they gotta support different clients, more than just our old desktop clients. So then, they came out that they gotta rethink how their data was fetched in the application. So ideally, they said, oh, wow, we should write just once and run it anywhere. So for February 2012, they created a prototype, and they were using it in the mobile iOS newsfeed Facebook section. They were using product until July 15, where they decided to open source it. From there, it's been only 4 years, and it's been a wild ride. There are like companies that they build incredible stuff on top of that: Apollo, Hasura, AWS, Prisma, and others. And last winter, we've got the incredible news that the GraphQL Foundation was created joining the Linux open source project with Kubernetes, with Node.js, in order to provide a safe and neutral place for the community to collaborate. So how GraphQL works, we're going to see in the live coding. Why we should care about GraphQL? When we are creating, maintaining, or evolving APIs, we always want to care about efficiency, type system, documentation, and tooling. In terms of efficiency, we can find two common problems in GraphQL and in the current APIs, whether it's REST, gRPC, GraphQL, not in GraphQL, but GraphQL provides solution for overfetching. Let's define them first. So overfetching is fetch more data that the client actually needs. And I think it could be really nice if we can just ask for what we need, and we are gonna get exactly that. So let's say that we have 3 clients, our mobile clients. If I want to display 2 fields, I want to fetch just 2 fields. If I have a table client and I want to display 10 fields, I just want to fetch 10 fields. If I want to display 100 fields in my desktop client, I want to fetch those 100 fields. We are going to see in the live coding how GraphQL solves this problem. Also, we've got underfetching. So underfetching is fetched not enough data that the client actually needs. I think it could be really cool if I can ask for nectar resources and get all of that in one round-trip call. Also, our backend engineering teams, they're spending months on typing any single line of code in our backends. And when we are sending that information to the network, we are missing that valuable information. When we are using REST, we are sending JSON. When we are using GraphQL, we are using JSON as well, and JSON is not typed. But because GraphQL by specification provide is introspectable, we are going to be able to explore our schema and get all those advantages that we are doing in our backend side. Regarding documentation, I think it would be really nice if we could have an auto-generate type, but most important, always up-to-date documentation by default. I don't want to go to my API side and expect some field that I cannot get in the production API response. And as well, I would like to move faster with powerful dev tools. So we are going to see in the live coding how GraphQL provides a browser API IDE called GraphQL, as well as we are going to be able to auto-generate TypeScript types from our GraphQL schema and get a supreme developer experience with IDE's extensions. So if you want to learn GraphQL, I really suggest you to go to GraphQL and learn the core fundamentals about GraphQL before jump into any library or any framework. We've got tutorial courses, big blogs, newspaper, newsletters like meetups around the world, conferences. Next week, GraphQL Summit is going to happen in San Francisco with more than 1,200 people gathering together for a conference in a specific GraphQL conference, which is just incredible, just to let you know how big is the GraphQL community already. Next year, GraphQL Asia is going to happen in Bangalore, India on February 22nd. The call for paper is still open, so feel free to submit a talk. They are looking for first-time speakers and they are mentoring them, so feel free to apply because you might be one of the speakers next year. Then on summer, we've got GraphQL in Berlin. And last month, we've got the first GraphQL community event in Hong Kong, where I was the organizer. We've got 100 people in Hong Kong, which is very awesome because the situation in Hong Kong is very difficult. And hopefully next year, we're going to have another, whether it's going to be in Hong Kong, China, or Taiwan. Hopefully it's going to be here. So, are you guys ready for the live coding? I'm going to just drink some water because it's going to be quite intense. Okay. We're going to start seeing exploring GraphQL and looking how we can explore and test GraphQL APIs within our browsers. and also explaining and seeing how GraphQL solves the overfetching and underfetching problems. Then we're going to go through our idea and see how a GraphQL server is being implemented and how we can take the benefit of TypeScript typing our resolvers. And we are going to do the same with our client. We are going to see how we can fetch data from our GraphQL APIs and then evolve it to TypeScript in order to provide a type-safe frontend. So, let's go. In and out, 20 minutes adventure. So let's start for exploring GraphQL. Beginning of this year, I have the opportunity to build the SpaceX GraphQL API. So if you like Rocket stuff, you are in the right place. And also I gotta say that although you got the possibility to access just going to api.spacx.land/GraphQL, also I was able, because of the GraphQL community, to auto-generate a fully tabbed and fully documented REST API from my GraphQL schema, which is awesome. I'm not gonna go through that today, but you're gonna be able to see it in the links that I'm gonna send later. And just check it out and contribute on github.com/SpaceXland. So I'm gonna just open the link, and we are gonna see what we got when we are opening our GraphQL. So this is a GraphQL, which is an impressive idea where we're gonna be able to test and explore our APIs. So let's say that I'm gonna join a company tomorrow and I don't know anything about their APIs. So I'm just gonna play with it. So I'm gonna do just here, let me just make it bigger. I'm gonna just press Ctrl space and I'm gonna get the operation that I'm gonna be able to do. So if I wanna fetch data, I'm gonna use queries, and if I wanna modify data, I'm gonna use mutation. If I wanna subscribe to data, I'm gonna use subscriptions. So in this case, I'm gonna get just some rockets here because I like rockets. I don't know. And so then saying I'm gonna click Ctrl space, and I'm gonna find all the fields, the entry point field that I'm gonna be able to fetch. So in this case, I'm gonna get rockets, so I'm gonna go to rockets. And now I don't know what is going on here, but I'm getting an error, so I'm gonna just see what this error tells me. So field rockets of type arrive rocket must have a selected also field. Do you mean rocket open braces? So if you tell me open braces, I can just open it and do Ctrl space again. And here I'm gonna fetch the ID of the rocket, the name, probably the descriptor, let's say the cost. We can just explore what we got here. We got all these like fields, so I'm gonna get the cost per launch, for example. And I just wanna click play. So the pretty cool thing about GraphQL is that, let's say that we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4 rockets. We are gonna get the data in the subset that we are requesting for. So if I'm requesting for ID, name, and cost per launch, I'm gonna get those 3 fields. And now is, for example, another really cool feature about GraphQL is like I can create aliases. So I don't have, if I wanna parse the cost per launch for a snap case to camel case, or in this case, yeah, let's do per launch. I can create this alias, and then when I fetching the data, I'm gonna have the alias in my response, in my JSON response, which is pretty cool because you don't have to code any parser client logic function in your front ends. So then, let's talk now about overfetching first. So if I am my mobile client, probably I want to fetch 3 fields. We can see here that we are gonna get this JSON. Let me just open it, and we are gonna get these rockets, 4 rockets with 3 fields. So now if I let's say my table client, I'm gonna get more fields, so the boosters and the company. So I'm gonna click again, and I'm gonna get, again, the same response with the fields that I'm requesting for. And if I'm my desktop, probably I'm gonna get the height with the feet and meters, and then I'm gonna get, I don't know, the diameter with feet and meters as well. So I'm gonna click play again, and I'm gonna get the 3rd request with the data, my 4 rockets with the data that I'm requesting for. This is important because we are doing a small example, but we can see how, for example, if we are going from our desktop client to our mobile client, if we were using the same API endpoint, we've been just like half efficient When we are dealing with hundreds of records with more than 100 fields per record, this could be potentially a problem in terms of performance of your API. And this is pretty cool. But now let's see more stuff about GraphQL. So I really want to give a shout out to one GraphQL startup in San Francisco. They created this Explorer plugin where we're going to be able to test our API in a super straightforward way. So we are going to find here checkboxes, and let's say that I want to just fetch capsules. So I'm going to get the capsule, I'm going to limit to 10, and I'm going to get the ID and the mission name and the status and the rails count. I want to get the course, and it's going to be, I'm going to limit to 10 as well, and I'm going to get the mission and the flight and the rails count and the status. And this is pretty cool because if we see the Mongo database where I'm fetching the data, the capsules are stored in my capsule table, and my course, they are stored in my course table what we are doing with REST. Probably here in GoodRed, you are going to do one round trip HTTP call for DS and another for DS. In GraphQL, you are going to do, if we see the console, that when I'm fetching this data, I'm just going to get one HTTP round trip call. But also, we can go farther than this. So let's say that I want to more than 2, I want to like fetch 3 or 4 or 5 different resources within the same round trip call. Also, I want to nest data. So let's say that the histories, I want to just limit 2 of them. I want to get the ID, the title. We're going to get history is going to have a launch. So we're going to get the flight, and for launch we're going to get the ID, the mission name. And also, once launched, you're going to have a rocket that ships. So I'm going to go to the rocket, and from the rocket, they're going to get the ID, the name, probably the cost per launch as before. And from the ships, I'm going to get the ID, the image, the name, and the model. Probably, if I want to fetch more data, I can do that. So, for example, I don't know if you know, guys, but last year or 2 years ago, they launched a car to the Mars orbit, which is incredible, but I don't know why, but yeah, we can check where this, where is the distance from this Tesla roster from Mars, and also the speed. So now we have here 1, 2, 3 with nested resources, and 4 calls to different domains in my data model. And when I click in play, what is going to happen is going to have all the data in one round trip HTTP call. And this is so important because we are living in a wireless world where we are perceptible, or our devices, they are perceptible to disrupting. So it's much better to process all the data in our devices instead through the network. So if we check the data, because it's quite interesting, so here we got some capsules, and we got some cores with like this, the number flight, and for example, and it was lost, they couldn't land it back, and then we have an history, which is going to be the first Dragon drop flight with this mission name. It was the Falcon 9 rocket, and this rocket cost more, $50 million US, which is a lot. And then we got a seed with an image and stuff. Then we can see the Tesla roster, which is quite far away from Mars yet, so 114 million kilometers, and the speed is quite insane. It's going to 106,000 kilometers per hour. So yeah, really cool stuff. So also in GraphQL we got a documentation, so even if you want to explore it, you can just say rockets, and then we are going to find, let's say, the rockets, we'll have the arguments, the types with GraphQL primitive types as Boolean, integer, and string, and also complex types as rocket sphere, the stage with their subtypes. So this kind of like breaks down the intro to GraphQL. Hopefully you can get the idea. Now we are going to see some code. So we're just going to start from the GraphQL server. I'm going to open my IDE. The first that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my server, and I'm going to just execute it. And before, while that's happening, we are going to check what we got in the server. So in the server, we've got our source folder, and basically we're going to have an index. In the index, we can see here basically that we have a GraphQL instance that we are passing and express an express instance in this case, and then basically we're going to pass a config, which is going to contain our GraphQL schema. That's what we are going to go through today. And we're going to pass some context and the database. So I'm going to just show you guys the database. It's a public database that is available. It's not an official SpaceX database, but it contains real data for different resources. And really props to James in Texas for creating this incredible, to gather all this data together. So we've got the index, and then we've got the context with the data being on some utils, which are going to be some filters to find, limit, offset, order, and stuff. And the types, we just have the content, which is anything yet, we see later. We've got two servers. First is the GraphQL Server, which is, we are going to use Apollo server. We just have to pass the schema and context, which we can just, this is just some API stuff. And then we've got as well REST server, where I'm going to be using like Sofa API in order to auto-generate a REST API fully tagged, fully documented, based in my GraphQL schema. So I'm going to just use this. I'm going to use OpenAPI, pass the schema, and that's going to do everything for me. I'm not going to go through that today, but check the GitHub repo and you're going to find it. So, okay, let's open the GraphQL, the schema folder. So here, I'm going to have all my data models. So if my Mongo database, I'm going to have tables with the different records. I want to kind of like create the same structure, and that's what I've done. I did. Let's check. So okay, we're going to have an index with our type definition and our resolvers. We are using Apollo server, we are going to be using SDL, schema first approach in order to create GraphQL APIs, and then we are going to see first the type definition. We've got all of them here, and the same with the resolvers. So let's check first the Rocket. So we're going to have a type definition. So basically, and this is the most important part, we have to specify the entry points of my GraphQL API. In this case, we want to fetch rockets, and those rockets, let's say in the REST world, is going to be kind of / rockets. They are going to have like some arguments or query variables in the REST world, and we are going to return, and we are going to require to return an array of type rocket. Also, we're going to have another query field that is going to be rocket. We are going to require it to pass an ID with, because we are like specifying here with exclamation mark, and we are going to return just a single rocket. So I think this is kind of straightforward, and everyone can follow here. So the rocket is going to have like some fields and also subfields. For example, rocket first stage, and we can see all the fields. So okay, let's open the API and see what we got here. I'm going to just change this probably to like, what is it here? So we're going to do light, and probably it's going to be better. Okay, so the same. This is GraphQL. This is a fork which is called GraphQL Playground, but basically we can do the same. So we can just introspect our API and get our rockets, and then we're going to get the ID and the name probably. And I get in the same data. Also, we are going to use the rocket. I'm going to even like have a completion about the argument that I need to specify, and I know that I can just copy it and then Falcon heavy, and I'm going to get just one single rocket, and that's pretty cool. So now let's go back to our editor. What we are going to do right now is we are going to evolve our API. So we are going to use this really good, nice extension for GitHub, for Visual Code Studio, that we can see our pull requests. So we are going to see that someone, in this case I've done that, I created this add rocket by name query field, and we can check out the branch, and we are going to see the div, and basically I've created this rocket by name query field where we are going to pass a name that is going to be a type string, it's going to be required, and it's going to just return a rocket. And if we see, it's kind of like similar to this rocket that we've seen before, but in this case, instead of ID, we're going to change it, we're going to find by rocket. Also, you can see here how we have changed as well this ID, because that can happen, right? Anybody can change the codebase, and this could lead to have a lot of problems. So let's see this. So now that my server was restarted, So I'm gonna go to this query again. I'm gonna refresh my editor, and first I'm gonna get an error because this ID is not ID lowercase anymore. It's ID uppercase. And now I'm gonna fetch the rocket. And this is a huge problem when we are having inconsistencies in our APIs. I don't want to expose my API if I don't know 100% sure that whatever that I'm looking for, that's what I'm gonna get. And so, in order to resolve this problem, what we are gonna do is use TypeScript in order to auto-generate all our TypeScript types based on our GraphQL schema, and in runtime catch this type of error. So I'm gonna do John GQL Jan, and we are gonna see that first we are gonna load the GraphQL schema. We're gonna load the schema as well, and then we're gonna generate the outputs. So if we see here, we've got the types. I'm gonna just open it up, and we've got a lot of types. We've got more than like 4,000 lines of types. It makes sense because we want them. We want to be type safe in both our backend and our frontend. So instead of the backend, what I'm gonna do right now basically is like I'm gonna open again my resolvers, and basically I'm just gonna type my Rocket resolver. So I'm gonna call query resolvers, and in runtime now I'm gonna have an error, and that means that if I check my API is not available anymore. And this is so important because we want to see this happening. So what I'm gonna do right now is like simply I'm gonna just delete it, control space, now it's ID, so sorry, and now I'm gonna just do ID, and this is gonna work. But also, if let's say that I want to evolve my API with the new query field that I've just added, so I'm gonna go here, and I know that this is, I can do control space, rocket by name, this is gonna be an async function with some arguments, and I'm gonna return something like this. So the first argument, I'm not gonna use it, and then I can just introspect my arguments, and because I do know that I added a name with a string and this required, I'm gonna have that information in my arguments, and also it's gonna happen the same with the context. So I'm gonna get the database from the context, and then I'm gonna just find that. So now when I'm saving this, I know that these both resolver for my API, they are gonna work. So we can just check the API is back. We can just double check. We are gonna again get this rocket by ID working, but also if I wanna do rocket by name, I'm gonna do name, I'm gonna do Falcon Heavy, and I'm gonna get that information, and we can do Falcon Night, and I'm gonna get that information, which is just incredible. So that wraps up like the benefits of GraphQL with TypeScript in the backend side. Now we are gonna go through our client side because I'm running out of time. So basically, let me just shut this down and go back all the way. Then we are gonna see quickly how we can fetch data from our client side as well as like able to TypeScript and see the benefit of it. So okay, we are back. So now I'm gonna go to my client side. So let's see client, and now we are gonna just start it, and we're gonna see what we got inside of the client. So in the client side, we've got here it is. So we've got our index and our app. So in our index, basically what we're gonna have is an Apollo provider is gonna accept as a prop, a client, an Apollo client instance with the SpaceX GraphQL API, and then we're gonna just lazy load our application. So then now we go to our application, and to wrap it up this talk, we are gonna be using the use query hook from the new Apollo React hooks API, and then we're going to have some states. Basically, we are going to just display the idea. Here we can see the mission name, the rocket name, the details, and one image. And we're going to pass a query So basically, if we are displaying these fields, we just want to fetch the ID, the mission name, the details, the link image, the rocket, and the name. So if we check our client, here we see our mission name, rocket, description, and rockets. And I don't know, you guys, if you like the rockets, but for me, this is super inspiring. And yeah, it's just incredible. So okay, to finish this off, what I'm gonna do right now is first, I'm gonna be able to introspect my my API from my IDE, as we're doing in GraphQL, and also I'm gonna auto-generate all the TypeScript type from my GraphQL documents in my front side. So quickly, what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna auto-generate all my TypeScript type. So John, I'm gonna do say GraphQL Jam, John GQL Jam, and then I'm gonna go to my extensions, and I'm gonna open the GraphQL extension. Please check it out because it's really useful. Basically, what we're gonna do is just go to the config. So in order to use it, we have to create and upload the config.js. We can save it. We are gonna load our GraphQL schema, and now we can see how this works, which is just incredible. First, let me just type the data, the returning data from my query. So this is going to be get launches dot query, and now what I'm going to do is like evolve my client. Just in 1 minute we are done. So if I want to evolve my client, I don't want to go to my documentation. I don't want to do console logs. I just want to like build new features as soon as possible. So I'm gonna just click enter, I'm gonna do control space, and I'm gonna get auto-completion about all the fields available in my API. So even I don't have to go to documentation to see those fields. So let's say that I'm gonna get the zips, and even GraphQL knows that zips are complex GraphQL types, so I gotta specify the inner fields of it. So I'm gonna get the ID, probably the name, the port, and yeah, this is loading, makes sense. Let's say that we're gonna get the ID and name, and then I know that this is home port, and this is the image. So now when I'm saving this, what I'm gonna do as well is I'm gonna auto-generate all the TypeScript types about my new definition. So we're gonna see here, if I go to the file, that we've got already our type zips with ID, name, home port, and image, and as well as our zip. So now what I have to do basically is, I'm not sure there's an error here, but yeah, whatever. I'm gonna try to do this, and then I'm gonna go back to my return function, and then basically I'm gonna do control space. That for some reason there is a live coding problem. So okay, I'm gonna get my zips here, and TypeScript knows that this is an array. So basically, if I wanna just display it, as we can see here that zips is an array. We are gonna get auto-completion about all the function that we can use with that array. So I'm gonna just filter some null values, and then I'm gonna just map it. And we do know that here we're gonna get some data. We're gonna just display it, and we are done for today. So div, and it's gonna have a key, it's gonna be the ID, and then we are just gonna introspect our zip type because we don't know that we are required for ID, name, port, and image. So we should get here the auto-completion of the data, and then it's ID, name, port, and image. This is not port, this is home port probably. And then we are gonna just represent this info with an H4. And then this is gonna be a boat with the name. And then we are gonna just do, to finish off, the H3, H5 probably with the port, home port, and then we are gonna just show an image. Let's see if this is going to work. Doesn't work now. Image with source, which is gonna be the image and a width of 100, 200, let's say. So although it looks like for some reason TypeScript is not working as expected, something is going on here. I'm not sure why, but it should work. But so now if we go back to our client, yeah, there is something wrong. It's not assignable, blah blah blah. There is some width here. Width, okay. Okay, so I'm not gonna put it anyway. This is the live coding things, okay. And yeah, we are gonna have like big images, but you can see here how we can get it the mission name, the rocket, the description, and the image of the rocket, and then we are getting the ship name, the port, the huge image, and but yeah, we can just check it out because it's quite interesting. And we are going to be able to, you know, like get this incredible developer experience. We can just fetch new fields. They are doing control spec. Now it's not working, but you have seen it before, so that doesn't add. And that's all for today. So CSIA, thanks so much for being here, and hoping that you are having an incredible conference so far. Please rate me out at SW_Carlos_Ariel. And here the QR code for the slides, so yeah, feel free to get them. Thanks so much. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna try to make this work now. What?
I will try some code generator for GraphQL type, and what problem is for TypeScript enum type and the GraphQL enum type. How do you do the mapping for integer or string type? What's your?
So okay, if I did understand you answer correctly, if you're asking how you can set up a GraphQL code generator in order to get either like TypeScript type or flow types for both backend and frontend, is you can use GraphQL code generator. It's an open source tooling created by the Guild, and also you can use for the frontend you can use Apollo CodeGen, and there is another from the backend side called Prisma CodeGen or something like that. Is that your question?
Yeah, but specifically I'm asking about the enumerator type, enum. TypeScript type is an enum type. Enum, E-N-U-M.
Okay, the enum types when GraphQL code generator. So that's kind of like a specific question related for the different GraphQL tunings or the different GraphQL code generators. As far as I know, in the GraphQL code generators, they are approaching that problem. So hopefully soon, it is not already available, it's gonna be. But I think I read something out last week that they were working on that. So check it out. Okay, thanks so much.
Do you have any recommendation about using GraphQL with RxJS?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Do you have any recommendation about using GraphQL with RxJS?
I think that if I did understand correctly your question, you are asking me about if I can suggest you to use GraphQL or RxJS, right? Okay, so there are different tools, so we cannot compare apples with pears, I guess. So GraphQL is in a specification to build APIs, and RxJS is a stage management library. So you can kind of like compare that with React context, or you can use it with I'm not like super master on RxJS, but I think with RxJS you cannot build an API, so they're like different concepts.
Can we use it together?
How you could use GraphQL with RxJS? I don't know. Probably our next speaker could answer your questions about that. But yeah, that could be really cool, of course. Thanks.
Hi. I want to ask a question that what do you think about using GraphQL means the front-end front-end side will know the database schema or some kind of important information in server side. Is that a disadvantage or what do you think about this?
Okay, that's a really good question. It's one of the main concerns when exposing GraphQL and public GraphQL APIs. In order to create a public GraphQL API, you gotta handle a lot of security issues. But yeah, it is possible, of course. It is easy or difficult to do it. I would say like a bit more difficult than you can do in Rest because GraphQL was open source just 4 years ago. But eventually we are gonna get there. But you can see GitHub, Stripe, and a lot of like big companies with PID information that they have their own public GraphQL APIs. So you can just go to the community. I'm pretty sure there are like a lot of blog posts talking about that. So I'm pretty sure that you can find a solution for it. Thanks. Wow, so many questions. So you can see here, if I change like Rocket, let's say that we miss it and we say Rocket, because of the TypeScript, we are going to have a runtime check, and if we don't have TypeScript, what is going to happen? Sorry if I'm stealing some time from other people. So this is going to be fine, but then I'm going to go to my client. Where is my client? So it should be here somewhere, and I'm going to get an error because that Rocket is not defined. But the cool thing is if I have types, I'm going to check this in runtime error. I'm going to get an error that Rocket doesn't signal the type launch pass. So I'm going to be able like easily to do control space, that is not working again, but I don't know that it's a Rocket, and now I know that my front end side is working properly. So when I'm switching, I'm going to get the data that I'm requesting for. Sorry.
Hi, my question is, how can I do the catch with the GraphQL?
Okay, cool. So if we are talking about like HTTP caching or front-end caching, you can use GraphQL Apollo client, and they're going to do all the stuff for you. And then if you are talking more about GraphQL caching in the server side, there is a really cool library called data loaders that is going to catch all the single requests that you are doing, and then if you are going to request again, you are going to be able to get that from the cache and then return it without going to your database. But if you want to talk about complex concerns about caching in GraphQL, I think the people, the community are still discussing and working on that. But check it out, data loader is an open source library created by Facebook.
那我们就再次掌声。